Hey guys, it's me, Trevis with PlayerProps.ai. It's WNBA tip-off day, baby. We got the WNBA tools already on our site for the predictor, for the optimizer, so no matter if you play player props on FanDuel, DraftKings, Prize Picks, any pick'em app, any prop app, any sports book, we got you covered right now on PlayerProps.ai. So I'm pretty excited for that launch. And for this particular episode of what we're locking in today, of course, we're going to be focused on WNBA. So let's just go right into it. If you don't have an account yet, it's very simple. Just go to PlayerProps.ai. Type that baby in your browser. And then, of course, create a free account. We do offer a lot of stuff for free. All the education stuff's free. Some of the stats for each of the sports are free as well. Getting the Discord, that is free. You see there at the top of the menu. If you're on desktop, you just click on Discord. If you're on your mobile phone, it's in the bottom right. Join the Discord. That is the easiest thing to do to increase your win percentage and to lower your losing percentage. If you haven't done that yet, take that first step. Do not be lazy. Hashtag apply yourself. So let's see what we're playing here today. WNBA, we are going to do the same things strategy-wise that we apply to the NBA season. I typically like to focus on points first, and then I typically go to the combo stats after that, and then kind of trickle down from there on out. A lot of people in our Discord, like for NBA, like doing like 3 points, 3 points made props and stuff like that. You can do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of this research platform. You can find what works for you, and that's what you can do. There's not one perfect science. Everybody has their own things they like to do. So let's go ahead and look and see what we got here today. All right. So here's points. So we have 3 points made, assists, points, assists, points, rebounds, assists. So, like I said, we're going to start with points first. We have some pretty nice percentage differences here. So keep in mind that you, on the first day of a season, the historical data may not be important at all because rosters could be changed. New draft picks, rookies are added, all of these other things. So, like, for example, Jonquel Jones, she's covered 12.5 points in 80% of her last 5 games, but you have to also have in the back of your mind, is the New York Liberty, do they have the exact same roster that they had last year, at the end of last year in the last 5 games that she played? So you have to factor in all these things. So for this, we're not going to pay too much attention to these historical data points here. The AI does factor in that stuff as well, of new rosters and things like that, so we're going to pay a little bit more attention to that than we normally do. And then, if you remember what we do in our MLB episodes, we focus on the trifecta. So it might take us a little bit to figure out what exactly is the trifecta for this WNBA season. So let's just, if we keep the MLB strikeouts on the back of our mind for points or PRA, okay, is the difference at least 10% or higher? There's a lot of stuff that's 10% or higher. What's he got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9 or 10 that are 10% or higher. So I don't know if 10% is the first tier for the trifecta check. It could be 20%. It's just something that we have to pay attention to, and as we go along this season here. If you remember in the NBA season, I don't like points props that are single digits. It's like 9.5 for Courtney, even though she's got 36% percentage difference. I don't like single digit points props. That's my personal take. You could be someone who only targets single digits, and you have your own method using PlayerProps.ai, and you may hit more often than you don't, and that's what you can do. But for me personally, I don't like the single digit point props. I like people who are essentially destined to get double digits. So right off the bat, Jonquel Jones, 39% percentage difference, which is, of course, the highest. The line is 12.5. The projection is 17.41. And the over is minus 104. So we don't have, again, we don't have a crafted trifecta, but I like all of that stuff. And I know that we're not paying attention to historical data because it's a new season, new rosters, both on her team and then the Washington Mystics that she's versing as well. But even though we're not paying too much attention to it, the fact that she typically scores more than 12.5, which we see here And these metrics here, that's also a nice sign. So we can actually see what she's done here. So again, her these here are her playoff numbers, because you see here she in the finals, New York Liberty lost to the Las Vegas Aces. So you see, let me scroll down here. So you see here we have the Las Vegas Aces, we have the Connecticut Sun, Washington Mystics. So we have all of this stuff here from the playoffs. So essentially the game, the last game, the game that the Las Vegas Aces won, is the only time that she didn't go over 12.5 in the last 5 games. But it looks like she definitely heats up in the playoffs, so to speak. But again, we're not in the playoffs. This isn't the biggest thing to pay attention to, but we are going to factor that in very, very slightly. So I like Jonquel Jones, and I also, if you guys did not see the previous episodes, I didn't have a WNBA team. I know they're expanding. They're adding a lot of teams to a lot of different cities. I think I just saw on Facebook this before I started recording that Golden State has an expansion team next year, and they're called Golden State Valkyries. So they got a pretty good color combo. That's a pretty cool name, pretty cool logo. But I decided, which I mentioned on a previous episode, that I am going to be a New York Liberty fan for the main reason is I looked at all the rosters. And I just like, okay, which team has the best roster to me? Not which team won the WNBA championship, but which team has the best roster based on, who's got the best assists per game, rebounds per game, points per game, who's just got a monster of a roster. And I looked at New York Liberty, and I was like, okay, this got a monster of a roster, and I also really like their jerseys and their color combo. You'll see a WNBA hat on my head in like 2 weeks, whenever the gosh dang company, Fanatics or whatever, ships it to me. Still looking for that mint green one, by the way. But Jonquel Jones we're locking in. And if we go down, we're going to skip Courtney Williams because it's single digits. We have Alyssa Thomas here, who has a nice difference, 33%. FanDuel is also saying she's going to go over 14.5, 19.34 projection. And again, this is not too important, but it's not red. So it's nice that it's not red. Before we lock in both of those plays, I do want to go to PRA. I just want to see something real quick here. So what I'm doing here is, if I like somebody on points props, which we were just looking at Alyssa Thomas earlier, if their percentage difference is higher on the PRA than it is on points, then I'll do PRA. But I believe she was 33% on points, so it's a higher percentage difference on that. So instead of going to PRA, I'll focus on points only. But it is nice that she's projected just to get a lot more to cover her projections on all of those stats. Natasha Cloud, 31. You know what? Let's just for this first episode, for the tip-off, we're going to focus on those two. We're going to focus on Jonquel Jones and Alyssa Thomas. Over 14.5 for Alyssa, and then Jones over 12.5. I'm very excited that we have WNBA here. So if you have not signed up, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Something I mentioned in Discord like literally 30 seconds ago, before I started recording anyway, it was these shows, this is not for you to just rely 100% solely on the picks that I'm giving in these shows. Like, oh, hey, let's see what Trevis is playing today. No, these shows are educational shows. I'm teaching you how my brain uses the tools I've created on PlayerProps.ai. If you are watching these shows and you're not actually using the site, you're watching the shows, you're seeing what I'm teaching you, but you're not actually using the site and applying what I'm teaching you Monday through Friday on this YouTube channel, it's the same as you taking a driver's ed course and not getting behind the wheel. What's the point of learning to drive if you're not actually going to drive? I'm teaching you how to drive. So #apply yourself and drive the gosh dang car. Sign up for PlayerProps.ai. Play around with the free stuff if you want to first. Upgrade your account. Get full access to all the stats for WNBA, NHL, NBA, MLB. The next ones we're going to be adding, I know of course we're going to be having college football and NFL, but before that I think the next one after WNBA, we're going to be adding soccer. So EPL, La Liga, and Serie A is the third league. So yeah, those are the two plays. Locking the WNBA plays for tonight's WNBA tip-off. And then if you haven't yet, let me know in the comments what your team you're rooting for this season for WNBA is. Or if you're not rooting for a team, what player, etc. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, get in the gosh dang Discord. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck.